Our body is never lie. Our body is the most honest thing that we have, and use it. So when we really sink into our body energetically, it will tell you what has happened and what could happen and what we even should do. This is why slowing down is so important, so we can actually tap into that energy within us.
Welcome to the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast, the space where we breathe deeply, live more intentionally, and find meaning in the messy middle of life. I'm your host, Kendra Chapman, mom of triplets, busy professional, caffeine lover, and a big believer in slowing down so we can show up fully. If you're a busy human, navigating career, family, life changes, or all of the above, you are in good company, my friend. Because around here, we do not chase perfection. We build rhythms that support peace, clarity, and joy. Whether you're listening during your morning commute, doing chores around the house, or just simply listening while you're drinking a cup of something warm, I'm honored that you are choosing to listen to this podcast because there are so many choices out there these days, so many other things that you could be doing with your time and your attention. So thank you for being here. And today I'm welcoming my special guest whose work embodies the heart of mindful, intentional living, Banya Lim. She is a multi-generational healer and energy coach with over 30 years experience as an acupuncturist and oriental medicine. Her work empowers individuals to clear energetic blockages, align with their life goals, and then truly thrive. I can't wait for you to experience the depth and peace that she brings to this conversation. So settle in, take a slow breath, and let's begin. Banya, thank you for being here today. I just want to say welcome. And also, can you tell our listeners and viewers how you're going slow these days?
Definitely, it's an ongoing learning and evolution for me. Often that I practice, I preach this, but I forget to practice and embody this on my own. And then life just jolts you to like remind me, like, remember this? This is how important it is. And even further than that, slowing down is where you get all your answers that you're looking for. So it is important for us to create that in our lives.
Yes. So do you do a little bit of practice in the morning, in the evening, both, where you're going within and listening?
Yes. First thing, I wake up in the morning before I go to bed. Um, it's a time for me. I call that a reminder time or reminder session, reminding me that, oh, okay, I'm here. That reminding me to be just gentle with myself, which is something for me, and I'm sure it's for everybody too. Just being gentle and kind to ourselves is it's everything.
Yes, I agree. Being kind with ourselves is it's one of the things that we can do so easily, but do we? I don't know if others out there struggle with that sometimes, but I know I do. I can be very self-critical.
Yeah, but that's, I think, base of the place where we are trying to get to is complete unconditional self-love. Um, Sometimes it's better to give to others because it's easier, because you know, our ego separate ourselves. But giving it to ourselves is so hard. Yeah, like I said, I do have to do that. I do have to remind that. And lately, these days, that's one of my focus. Like, oh, okay, you did okay. And you're doing okay. You're doing
Right?
okay. Sometimes you're doing great. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good to check in and just make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and we're asking those questions.
Right. Me being healing, industry, healing work, and healing also takes place when we do that for ourselves and when we do it for other people as well. It's a funny story. I don't know I was going to share this, but it just popped up in my mind. One time I worked at an acupuncturist for 30 years, and now I'm doing energy coach based on acupuncture and more oriental medicine. Um, First 10 years of my practice, I asked my assistant to make a list of clients, ones who gotten better, ones are still struggling, because she was so bubbly. She talked to all my clients and all my patients who were coming to our clinic, and she know like who got better, who had a great result, and who didn't. And she just made a like simple list of people who really like had a great results and gotten better, and ones that still have to come back and get more sessions and so on. When she made the list and gave it to me, I actually I started really like sobbing just looking at the names. I realized ones who are getting better or gotten better, I really like them. And ones who didn't get better quickly, I don't know, I necessarily like them as much as this group. And it was such a clear revelation for me, is that my mom always said it's all about your energy, how much you care about them. It's all about your energy and your compassion. And it was like really hit my face, like I really have to care for them. More than that, I really have to like them as who they are. And like my whole perspective and how I practice completely changed from that point on.
I find that fascinating. Do you think it was because of the energy where they were and your alignment with them? Did it have you think it might have had anything to do with just whether they were lower or, on a different frequency? And then maybe that's why you did or did not connect with them.
Right. I'm sure it's that, and I'm sure it's a combination of many things. Maybe they were just low or feeling bad, or maybe even upset. But regardless of who they are, I had to be neutral. And there's not only not liking them particularly, but I think there was also judgment that went along with that as well. And I worked through it to really be in a place of neutrality. Not just neutrality, but be able to really care for them with a compassion and kindness. And my journey started at that point of, okay, if it's all about energy, what is the ultimate, most healing energy that's out there? And that's love. When you look at a puppy, when you look at baby, it's easier for us to like go, oh, our heart soften. But if for me, like I have to take care of each person within an hour, and how do I do that? So I try to figure out, well, how do I like them? How do I love them? And I'm not gonna tell them that I love them, but how do I really like care for them and have that loving energy? And I realized that I have to like them.
Mm.
And it some people are easier to like than the other. So I started the journey of, okay, how do I like them? Then first step was getting interested in them and really interested in who they are. And
Mhm.
after a few months of this me, just trying, my assistant told me afterward, and she told me that people are telling me that you are asking questions differently nowadays. You're asking different questions. There's a depth to the questions you're asking. And it's like, that took me back. Oh, okay. I think that's a sign that I'm on the right track. I didn't even know that I was doing that. But instead of like, okay, where is the pain? Like, how did that start? When was that happening during that time that your pain started? Where did you come from? Where were you born that you have this kind of habit? Things like that.
Mhm.
So the duration of liking somebody, it gotten quicker for me, and it got shorter
Mhm.
and shorter, and then easier for me to kind of open my heart and open my heart for people nowadays.
And that's a good reminder. I'm coming from the educational space. You're coming from a healing practitioner space with energy work, and you're a multi-generational healer. So you've been around these spaces with clients and and we're both in that realm of helping people. But to know somebody, you've figured out that to help them better as well is you would
Mm.
have to speed up that connection with them, and you were able to do that with shifting the type of questions you were asking. So that's very helpful, probably for
Mhm.
anybody who's listening. And we know that when we go to receive any kind of medical or healing work, that when we connect with somebody, we walk away from that event, that, I guess, appointment, feeling whether or not we've connected with that person. So that makes sense.
Yeah, since I work with energy and, learning from a mother who told me that the body always reveals the truth. And really honoring that, I had to go deeper than just the physical aspect. But through my practice, I got to really understand what she was trying to tell me since I was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. I was apprenticed to her when I was 7 years old. I didn't know I was apprentice. I thought she was just making me work and not go
Yeah.
out and play.
Right. Yes. And, can you walk us through a little bit about that? Even though your mom was a healer and you became a healer, what at what point in your life did you decide that you wanted to do this work?
Mhm,
And, what kind of shaped your process through your healing modality?
mhm. I didn't know I was going to become an acupuncturist myself. I always knew that I would be working with the people, so I studied psychology. But during college year, I suffer depression and also a lot of gastrointestinal issue, IBS too, also a lot of colitis and so on, and it was very detrimental to my body. Um, It was quite serious, actually. My body was not absorbing any nutrients, and I was just always tired and every day. And I realized that either I really, go into the conventional way to do this healing, or just do what my family has been practicing. So I started to doing the more four main things: acupuncture, meditation, um, uh, herb, and exercise. Exercise can be any different things, but through that, I think that I came to this is a kind of pivotal moment. Um, I just knew that I just like had this like and had an awareness like how our mind and body, how mind body connection, and then there's a shift that occur in my mind, and I could just feel my body melt away. with whatever that tension and constriction that was in my body. That was beginning of my journey. And eventually all my symptoms went away. It's actually a miracle because the doctors told me like, this is a miracle. Like things just don't go away like this. But I knew it. I knew the beginning stage. I knew the middle stage when it completely disappeared. So when I actually start practicing acupuncture, I just gave this information to my clients because in acupuncture, I'm governed by two main theories, yin and yang theories, 5-element theories. Based on 5-element theories, wood, metal, earth, so on. Each element is connected to specific organs and specific organs are connected to emotion. For example, liver, gallbladder is a wood element and its emotion is anger. And anger, fear, sadness, and so on. So in the beginning of my practice being an acupuncturist, I was a baby acupuncturist, I just gave the information to my clients. Liver gallbladder has a connection to emotion of anger. And I do not exactly know what that is. I know this because this is what I learned from my family and school that I went to. And they are the one who will give me all this information and data. Like, the day that I was had started having issues in this area and having pain is the day that I got divorced. And I was very angry at the time. One example is someone who has lungs, pain, problem in the lungs. Lungs are connected to sadness and sorrow. And I would just tell this information to my client and to say, you know what? It started when my mother passed away. And I was deeply saddened by it. So that was like beginning of my journey, connection between the emotions, organs, and how it gets manifested on the physical level. Then even when deeper, there are blockages that happens within the body. When you have a kind of repeated emotions, let's say, for example, anger, they keep continuously having anger, your liver and gallbladder meridians start to get blocked. And if you leave it long enough, it turns into something much more serious.
So you were able to take the learning that you had basically been around all your life and start to connect the dots with your patients when they were telling you their symptoms and where in the body they were feeling pain. When did you start to get your patients to notice the connection? Were they able to internalize and process, like, that's how I'm feeling and it's showing up in this part of my body? Or would they just take you at, your word for it?
So I noticed like everyone has a different awareness in the body and different intuition within themselves. So in the beginning, there are few clients who just have clear understanding of what's going on. Just by me throwing this information to them, they figure it out. They figure out the way to how to heal themselves, but not everybody. So this is how I develop my guided meditation and somatic work to guide other people to understand their own blockages so they can create a healthy body, mind, and soul, basically. But the blockages are on the way of in getting having healthy body, but also healthy mind and healthy relationship, even healthy business. So I also work with a lot of people who are business owners or want to accomplish or achieve certain goals in their business. And those blockages are also within the body. By unlocking and unblocking it, they can be able to get to the goals they've been wanting to achieve.
So knowing that those blocks can exist and, and there could be many different blocks that are going on in somebody's body, if it's not manifesting as pain, or you're not maybe able to pick up on it as a regular person off the street, you're not able to kind of know. You don't have that inner knowing yet.
Hmm.
When someone comes to work with you, what kind of diagnostics scans do you do with them so they can figure out and you can figure out where to start?
Yes, great question. By the time you have to actually get acupuncture, have physical treatment, that means it has been there long enough. So most of people that I work with their goals. It could be internal goals, external goals. Internal goals can be like, I want to work on my anxiety. External goal could be, I want to be a CEO of my company. That could be external goals. But the blockage is always within the body. And ones who are aware, usually they can actually feel the sensation within the body. But pretty much everybody that I know, they can feel it. This is where meditation comes in. When you really slow down, you can feel it. Whatever the dominant feeling that you have, like for example, right now, whatever the dominant feeling that you have, but if it's heavy, let's say, I am angry, or I don't, I don't feel good enough. Whatever the dominant, the emotion they are playing right now, right away when you drop into the body, you can find the location. And good thing about energy is that also there is also location for something opposite of that too. Let's say I am not good enough is residing in my solar plexus. I am powerful is also reside in your body as well.
Would you say it's pretty consistent if someone's having gut issues? I've had an ulcer, and I'm thinking that it was probably just stress
Mhm.
in my body and just worrying so much. But is there a particular marker that, you know, would be an emotion for the gut? Or can it be a lot of different things?
Yes. In Oriental medicine, digestive area, it could be something else that's also playing it. We have to go a little bit further than but just by on the surface. Digestion is connected to spleen and stomach. Their emotion, worry. There is, but also like a incessant thoughts going in the mind. So to simply, if you want your digestion, your gut to be healed or healthy, just stop worrying. And oh, it's not easy as telling yourself to do that, but that information itself can 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 start something. Just like you know, my practice in acupuncture, I didn't know, so I just gave all this information to my clients. Like, digestion is connected to worries, and the organs of spleen and stomach. So you just work on stop worrying. And I was young, and I was like, this is how you do it. Some people really had great, you know, story to tell the next time they visit me. Like, with that information, this is what I did, this is what happened. But of course, not everybody. We cannot just stop our worries. I think just being in a physical body and physical world, this three-dimensional world, we're designed to worry about some things every day. But just this information alone, your body will start to do something, and you start to
Mhm.
feel.
Yeah, I think part of it is acknowledging it. You got to acknowledge it. So your body doesn't have to tell you over and over again that's what it is. But then you
Yes.
also have to do things. You have to take action.
I did tell you about the two main theories in Oriental medicine, yin and yangs and five elements. So based on five elements, you can apply to anything that taste, direction, color, uh, 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 sound, whatever. Let's say spleen and stomach, and its element is earth. And By the way, if you want to check out this chart, it's available in Google. Just go to 5 element charts based on acupuncture. You'll find a whole bunch of them. Okay. So when you become intuitive, this is intuitive part is part of my coaching as well. When you become intuitive, and we are intuitive, we are not becoming, we are. When we honor what the intuitive insight comes in, you just do naturally what your body tells you to do. And our bodies tell us what to do all the time. Good example, based on 5 elements, let's say earth. Earth's organs, spleen and stomach, and their emotion is worries. And when you look at the chart, it applies to direction, so on and so on. Let's say direction is the center. It's the center of your house. It's a base
Mm-hmm.
of feng shui. And the color is yellow. If anybody have issues in their digestion or spleen or stomach, just clean out the center of their house and see what happens.
Mm. And I want to just double check because this, I have just a little tiny awareness of feng shui, and I've done the mapping before, like when I was in an apartment and when and I've moved into a different house. And I asked, I think when we were doing our pre-chat, if the front door is where you kind of start that direction. And you were
Mhm.
telling me it's a little different
It's
with the,
actually north, south, east, west. Go by that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So you go
yeah,
by the actual um, compass direction of your home.
yes.
Okay.
I want to tell you a funny story. I had a client who had actually, some condition in the liver, and I told him about the information, the direction, and the liver's direction, and it's a wood. The element is wood, and the
Hmm.
direction east side. And he came back and told me, you know what, you're right. Like my east side of the house was my office. It was absolutely mayhem. It was such a messy and disorganized. And
Hmm.
once I cleaned it out and organized, I just start to feel really better.
Hmm.
Okay. And the color for the wood is green, and the color for the earth is yellow. When we just follow our own intuition, we naturally get drawn to those colors.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
harmonizing color for the earth will be yellow,
Mm.
and harmonizing color for the wood, which is the liver gallbladder, and its emotion is anger, is green. And
Mm.
sometimes when I don't really get angry, but when I get angry the day before, then next day, I do get drawn to color green. And since I have this information, I purposely wear green, and you will
Mm.
feel the difference. You absolutely will feel the difference just playing around different colors.
Mhm.
I
So you're
promise.
saying green would calm the anger.
Yeah, calm energy, and it
It's a calming.
harmonize the liver and gallbladder.
Okay.
Yellow harmonize the spleen and stomach, which also helps with the digestion. Yeah,
It's a harmonizing, equalizing kind of
yeah,
thinking around those colors and how they match with the different parts of your body.
right. Like
Okay.
ancient time in China, when this cooking for emperor or empress, and when they find with the based on the diagnosis by acupuncturists, they will cook the meal based on their color, based on that element, based on their properties,
Hmm.
based on the 5 element properties.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about energy, how it works? Just, thinking about the ancient wisdom and why
Mhm.
we need to make sure our energy is moving and clearing.
Yeah. Well, chi or energy is what moves our body and do the things that we do. We call it life force. In order for us to optimal condition, energy has to move within the body without stopping, like water. And the blockages can happen through having this repetitive negative thoughts based on the emotion, and that creates emotion. What acupuncture does is going to finding those specific points to open them up so they can start flowing again. But if you go back to same thoughts, leading to same emotion, basically if you go back to same relationship, same situation, that blockage has happened again and again. This is why I noticed my clients keep coming back with the same symptoms. And this really puzzled me in the beginning. And I realized unless we go down to the root of the issue, the body is going to still continuously just creating those blockages. So this is why eventually I created Chi Master to really guide and teach people to really work on themselves and heal themselves. And also if there are different qualities of energy. Energy tends to only stay, it moves, it's like water. And unless we give our thoughts to it, it will just move out of it.
So I know you were talking about Qi and you were talking about your Qi mastery system. So I just want to ask a little bit more about how your Qi mastery system works.
Chi Master system is about recognizing the energy within the body and recognizing certain blockages within the body so we can unblock them both consciously, unconsciously, energetically, so we can reach the goals that we set out to reach. Let that be physical, emotional, even business wise. Those blockages actually oftentimes get created long ago. Interestingly, oftentimes in our childhood. Not always, but oftentimes. And when we get to go to that place to unblock it, everything opens up. Emotionally, emotionally, we tend to repeat. We are creatures of habit. We tend to kind of think or feel certain way over and over. And when it become unconscious, we don't even know why we feel the way we do. When you go down to the energetic level, we'll understand where they come from. We even know how to even work through it, and eventually we'll move out of our body. But it all comes down to our emotions and our thoughts and how we feel. What I'm saying is that if we just leave it as it is, when it comes, it will move out of the body. But because of our thought, because of our thoughts, we tend to hold on to in your body. Do you know energetically, whatever the thoughts that are coming into our body, as a feeling, it only stays in our body for 90 seconds, then it moves and eventually moves out of it. But when we identify with that, we judge it, it lingers. And humans are the ones who are very good at doing that. Animals are very good at moving things away, moving things out of the body. Do you know two animals fight like they're just ready to kill each other? Then after it's done, they just shake their body and just peacefully move away from each other. Humans are the one like I order, like you did that to me, and then this heavy and negative thought eventually turns into energy and stays in the body.
Yeah, it's interesting how our brain has evolved over time and we think we're the superior species, but really our brains are our worst enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, we're learning
Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've heard the saying of like, think like a goldfish, they forget. Just move on, let it go. Like you said, the animals shake it off after they've had a fight. So if we could learn to do that more, we would be able to clear
that.
that energy out of our body quicker.
Yes.
Mm.
I just worked with someone just this morning. Um, he had a very specific goal, what he wants to achieve in his life. And when we kind of travel to the body and energetical signature within the body, it was a certain trauma that has happened in the body, and that was what's creating continuously creating distraction in his life to not achieve that goal. But since he was very much in his head, like, why you keep talking about that? I want to achieve this goal. I want to work with you so I can achieve this, and let me know how I can do my work to be able to get the point. When we get to sink into the body, went there, he clearly saw the connection. Because our bodies never lie. Another thing my mom always told me, like, our body is the most honest thing that we have, and use it. So when we really sink into our body energetically, it will tell you what has happened and what could happen and what we even should do. This is why slowing down is so important, so we can actually tap into that energy within us.
Yeah. If we listen to our body more, we go slower and we pause, the more we're going to hear, we're going to find out about ourselves. We have all the answers. We just have to listen.
And the body, it's here. It's not just a concept. We can utilize this and we can access it right here. And whatever sensation that you have, work with it.
And for those out there who are listening and watching and they've never tried acupuncture, can you explain a little bit about, how it works, what it does? And, I've had it myself, but I think, it's great to hear from a practitioner who's been doing it for 30 years just to kind of explain, what to expect if you've never had the
Mm.
session.
Yes, I explained this in two versions. First version is about energy has to move like water within the body, and there are 365 main acupuncture points in the body. It reflects to the universe. Our body is the microcosm of the universe. So what acupuncture does, finding those specific points to unblock them, so energy can flow smoothly within the body, so you can achieve your healthy condition. Second version is, when we open up the meridians, your nervous system slow down from the fight and flight state to very relaxing state. Not only that, when we become relaxed and in all the 365 points start opening up, your body start to find sense of safety. And this is huge. When the body feels safe, you will start to create healing in your body, mind, and soul. And your body start to create a sense of homeostasis. This is why oftentimes people reporting, like, it's like I was in a deep meditation. One example, I don't know if it's a good example. He said this is like getting drug without actually doing drug.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a healthy way
Mhm.
to be calm.
Yes.
So I think some people feel like it's like they're putting needles into my body. But can you explain what you do physically to, provide the acupuncture to a client?
I believe there's a electrical current that running through our body, although we might not see it, but we feel it. Sometimes we do feel it, and sometimes we do this. We can feel the energy between our hands, and so on. And also, there's actually electric stem acupuncture that exists. This is more modern acupuncture, which I don't practice. I do traditional acupuncture. And that's invisible electric current is the signal that's running through our body, sending signals through the cells, to the organs, to the brain. And it can get disrupted when we go through stressful state. And that's how, especially having like negative thoughts, that it ends up creating disruption, that disruptive energy can create blockages within the meridian system. Just like nervous system, blood, and there is something called meridian system within the body. As I told you, 365 acupuncture points are spread out through this meridian lines within the body. And what acupuncture does, going to the specific points to open them up. And the blockage can happen through those negative emotion and disrupting the current, the electric current within the body.
Yeah, I liken it to you're clearing the traffic off the highway so you can go at a normal speed. And so there's so many different points in your body. And obviously, you're not going to put pins in all of those locations. It would just be the areas where do you go through like a body scan with the patient and then figure out where they need those needles? Where do you go from there?
Three specific way we do the diagnosis. We check pulse. We look at the tongue, and we look at the face. There are 365 acupuncture points that matching with the 365 days in a year. And also each part of the body is a reflection of the universe. Our body is literally the microcosm of the universe, and we are mirroring what's occurring outside. That's what's occurring outside is occurring within the body. So we check the pulse. Pulse taking is a very differently than Western medical way of doing it. So we're not only checking the rate of the pulse, we're basically checking the quality of the pulse. Through checking the quality of the pulse, we can see what's going on in the body clearly. Like different parts is connected to liver, gallbladder, kidneys, and lungs, and so on. You can diagnose many things through just checking the pulse.
So, what would you say to somebody listening who's just so busy with their day to day? How could the Chi Mastery system be incorporated into their daily life to help it flow better?
Just slow down and just pause and just have awareness what's going on in the body. This is a beginning of a friendship with our bodies, and something that we haven't really taught to do. And this is the beginning of everything. Just slow down, pause, listen, and pay attention to whatever that's going on in the body. Or whatever is the loudest, go there. And hold a space for that energy. If there's emotions or thoughts or feelings associated with that, quiet that part down and just focus on the sensation only. Just by giving the space for that, it will start to soften up. So find a way to slow down, like your podcast, and utilize body to get to where you need to go.
For anybody who's having a difficult time finding ways to slow down, what would be your advice for them to start? Maybe one or two strategies they could try.
Yeah. So in Asia, all the martial arts are focusing on this one specific point in the body. And also this is one of the main acupuncture points out of 365 points, which are same spot as second chakra. In Chinese, they call it dantian. In Korea, they call danjeon. In Japan, they call tanden or hara. Hara point is right below your belly button. This is where you can be grounded and centralized. Not only that, by focusing on your mind in that place, you can gather energy there. And you literally feel energized just focusing on your mind in this spot. If that thing helps, put your hand there If that doesn't help, then tap. There's actually Qigong exercise that has been developed just literally tapping that point for 100 times. But if you have like this like confusion or too much things overwhelm that happen, just focus on that point. Just put your hand down there and just the energy goes where your mind goes. Literally just bring your mind in this spot, your energy will start to go there. And also help you to kind of separate from your energy from your head down to there.
So, final thoughts.
So being aware of the body, working with the body to achieving your goals might be a new concept for you, but actually it's not. It's based of actually acupuncture. Like my mom always say, she said we have to bring back the ancient tradition of healing modality here. That spiritual part especially has been lost in acupuncture, so we have to bring back. Me, by practicing it, I understood what she was trying to say, and I feel like I am bringing back the old traditional way of doing the healing, but also help people to align with whatever they want to align in their life. It could be relationship, health, or business, and so on. So listening to the body is the key to get to where people want to go. And also, I want to offer your audience the free consultation. If they sign up for clarity session, they can just go to my website, banyalim.com.
I'll make sure I put all of that information in the show notes. And it's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kendra.
That's it for today's episode of the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast. I hope that you feel inspired and empowered to take proactive steps towards your own well-being. Now, I would love to hear from you. What is the next energetic or emotional habit that you're going to try out to go slow this week to make purposeful progress? And what's your biggest takeaway from Banya's insights today? Let's keep the conversation going. Connect with Banya. In the show notes, you can learn about her Chi Mastery system. You can connect with her on all the social media links and at her website. And you can always check out my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Facebook page. And I also have a YouTube channel, Kendra Chapman Living 123, where I post all of these podcasts, but I also post the video versions. So if you want to check those out, feel free. I'll put all that in the show notes as well. And I hope you'll tag me in your moments of intentional living. I want to see your version of progress. I'd love to hear what you're doing to take the next steps towards that best version of yourself. So please tag me so I can make sure that we're making the right episodes for you. If you want to learn about something different or you have questions that you want to guide the next few episodes, let me know. If you loved this episode, I hope that you'll consider sharing it with a friend or two who could use a little moment of calm or clarity in their journey. And as always, remember, the light in me honors the light in you. And as you head into the rest of your week, let your light shine through. Go slow to go fast, and thanks for listening.